Hello there. So I just wanted to offer 10 tips for new travel bloggers, just to offer an idea of who I am. I run Spaghetti Traveller, it's been going about 7 years, so I just wanted to give back some guidance and advice of things I've learned along the way that I thought might be useful for anyone starting out in 2019. Firstly, domain and hosting. So there's so many people that I've spoken to in the past that have set up, say, their name.wordpress.com or their name.blogspot.com or something like that. And the issue with this is as they progress and the blog gets more powerful, greater, they want to work with marketers or hotels, and none of them will take them that seriously until they have their own domain and hosting. So it's a lot easier than it looks and sounds, if I'm honest. So you can get them both set up with one. So when you get the domain name, you can pay for hosting through the same provider, and that will be offered to you, or you can choose a separate one if you want to kind of get your best value for money. But it's 100% worth doing. Like I have to say honestly, it is really worth it. Number two, social media. Make sure you focus on whichever ones you want to, because so many people try and hit all of them. So you've got Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, everything. And I'll tell you this, I don't bother with Pinterest. For me personally, that doesn't mean you shouldn't, but there's so many to choose from. You're going to have limited time in a day and you can't do it all. You have to just accept certain points, you just can't do something. So I push quite a lot on Instagram. I'm doing less now on Facebook because of organic is much harder to achieve with. But yeah, it's picking your battles and make sure you focus your time in the best place possible. Number three is to create content. So obviously, again, it sounds similar to what I mean, but when you start a new blog, most people do it the reverse of what they should do. They actually build a website and then they try to get it to look nice, and they spend months trying to make it look nice. And then they'll put up one blog post and then really they just fizzles out. And most people actually give up in their first year. It's something like 80% of travel bloggers stop within their first year, and they can completely reverse this if they start creating content before they even thought about the website. So my recommendation when I've spoken to travel bloggers in the past is 3 months worth of content, and that's say going around once every week, if that's how often you want to do it. So when you think that's a hefty amount of articles, we're talking about 1,000 word pieces. You need your about us page as well, and the content for your homepage, and all of this kind of stuff that you'll want. So that all needs to be written completely, so that when you go to start building it, and when you're building it out, you can then start focusing on the important things. So those blog posts are scheduled to go out once every week for 3 months. You can build up your social profile. You can focus on building links. You can do all these important jobs that would be ignored otherwise. That's it. Number four is video everything. So whether you want to get a GoPro, I use my Google Pixel to Excel, which is what I'm recording from. It's okay. Yeah. But basically, along the way, video content is becoming more and more important. You can embed it from YouTube, you can use it on Instagram, but also there's little filler content you'll find really useful. So you might not think about recording what you're eating or something like that, but actually that could be a time lapse that cuts scenes from one to the other, so it doesn't just look like it jumps suddenly. And so just video everything, and then you'll find actually, even if you don't use it in that video, later on that might be useful. So it's really good. Number five, PR and links. So a lot of people think link building is difficult. It's not as hard as you think, but you need to talk to journalists all the time. You can offer yourself as a case study. They constantly need case studies. And then just state, would you mind referencing me and crediting me as me at my travel blog? And then give the link to your website. It can just be, you've got amazing stories as a travel blogger. So speak to journalists, write up stories, unique, separate to your blog posts, but unique content that you can give to them. You can find a lot of these journalists through Twitter. A lot of them are really responsive on there. But yeah, just to offer an idea, I was featured in over 400 newspapers last year. So it's not that hard. And often if you get in one, it'll get replicated or rewritten in other publications. So I was in Daily Star, from that I ended up in Unilad. It was on MSN and Yahoo and Huffington Post for just one feature I did. So it shows if you do a good piece, it will just go everywhere, so it can work. But yeah, definitely build links. Number six is a little hidden treasure I found, was Facebook groups. So I didn't find this for the first 3 years, I think, that I was blogging, and when I found it, I was just so happy. basically, if you type in travel blogger or travel blogger mega share or stuff like that on Facebook, you'll find a number of groups that are based around helping offer guidance and advice, helping with hosting or anything like that. People that are going on trips, so you can meet up with people in your local area. Actual sharing of each other's content, doing guest posts on each other's site, which is another great way to get links. All travel bloggers, they'll happily write an article for your site, you write an article for theirs, you both link to each other. It's a great way to get an extra link in. So yeah, definitely have a look at Facebook groups. Number 7, Webmaster Tools, or Search Console as it's now known. I'm from an older generation, so I've still got the old name in my head. And Google Analytics. So in case you don't know much about these, they're both free and they're both created by Google. And what it is Search Console is a free tool, very easy to set up, and then from that point you can find issues with your site. You can set up an XML sitemap, submit it to Google. It's just any issues that might pop up along the way, you can dig them out very easily, and that can help you to diagnose any issue they might have on your website. With Google Analytics, it's great at tracking data. So it'll be able to tell you how many people have visited your website in the last month, what source they came from, was it from Google, was it from Facebook? It can tell you which page brought that traffic in, so which page is actually helping you, which blog posts are ranking well. So you can dig really deep into the data. You can see your demographics, is it male or female, is it from the UK or America? So all that will really help you. Number 8 is a media kit. So you don't need this straight away, but you need to have it in your mindset that you will need to create this. I forked up for a designer to do it, and I think that was the best thing ever because my failed attempts were terrible. And if you need someone, I know someone I can connect you to, so you're welcome to send me a message and I'll happily put you in contact with them. But yeah, it will cost you up to £100, but every time you talk to any marketer or a hotel, they'll ask you for your media kit. The main things you'll need to give to your designer will be the metrics. So how many followers you've got on every single channel, what kind of visits you get to your site, and why people should work with you. So you're trying to sell yourself on this page. So give all of that, all of the writing, it's mainly number based, but all of the core details to the designer, and then they can design something up really good. Number 9 is pick the right WordPress theme. So this is only if you're on WordPress, but a lot of people go for a free theme and try and build it out and then realize they're having issues or they break something, and then they end up paying a developer about £500 or £1,000. And really, if you just get a good WordPress theme costing about 50-60 quid, then actually it's worth its weight in gold because you can do everything. It's all so simple now. So you don't need barely any coding knowledge at all. You just need to spend the 60 quid, pick the right theme, and then from that point, it's job done. You can just go through changing anything you want. And also make sure it's responsive, really important. That just means it work on all different devices in the same way. Number 10 is PWAs. I'm not going to go deep into this subject, but this stands for Progressive Web Apps, and it is the future of the internet. So you'll see it everywhere in years to come. What it means is it's your website, but it will work like an app on the phone. So it can be downloaded as an app onto the phone, and so they'll be able to see it there. They can click on it and it will work offline. So imagine if they are abroad and traveling, which is quite likely with our type of site, they'll still be able to use it because your blog posts, you're not changing a blog post from a year ago necessarily. Therefore, it will still be able to work offline because it will be pre-loaded almost. And you can also have push notifications. So I'm sure you've seen this on your phone where you get an alert saying there's a new thing, any kind of app update. Whereas you can do this. Imagine if you had a new blog post that came out, you could give them a little push to say, did you know we got a new article? And then that will bring more visits through to your site. So PWA, there's a WordPress plugin, which is okay, but it's worth checking out. But other than that, it's just something that I want you to go away and read up a little bit about. But yeah, that's my 10 points. I hope they're useful. Have a great one.